You know why I asked you to do this?
No.
Really? You have no idea?
And you can kind of predict the way it's going to go, but when they unleash like that...
I was born in Sydney, Australia, but I grew up from 4 onwards in Canberra, Australia.
On the side of the jaw. He's unloading here. Now these are the punches.
Boom! Straight through. Matty's tapped out.
Tapped out. That's the end of that.
When they're at this type of weight, it only takes one to get through.
Aggressive here, relentless here. You've worked hard for this. Nice! Again! High, lift! Yes! Good, Dennis! Good! Perfect, Dennis! Nice, Dennis! Nice, Dennis! Way to go!
Nice! Yeah!
It only takes one to get through.
It's amazing how quick it can happen.
I love you, man. That's seriously. I think yeah, I really do. The easiest workout of your entire life.
Good to hear.
Yeah. This is like bodybuilding stuff, bro. This is like piece of cake for you. You can take a nap while doing this compared to the kind of workouts you do.
What is the plan? I got a little wrist thing going on.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what's going to hurt it.
Well, if we do a movement that bothers it,
probably anything supinated.
All right, you let me know.
Yeah.
And then we'll modify it if we need to.
And pushing, maybe. I don't know. I'll say
we'll do back. I was going to do some back, little biceps today. So pulling should be okay.
Yeah.
On that.
Bicep, maybe hammer type stuff might be all right.
So supinated hurt.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and you're right in
it's
here?
Like here, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like a million times. I was doing this thing where one guy throws the jab, I parry, and then throw over the top.
Okay.
And just the next day it hurt.
Yeah.
And the day after that, I was hitting the bag.
Yeah. Let me see real quick.
Oh, fix me.
Yeah, because this pronator, you're a big dude, bro.
Jeez. Yeah, that's right in where it is. Right there.
We'll avoid too much supination. I'm glad you told me because I was going to do some supinated exercises. So we'll keep everything pronated.
Ooh.
And then if we do biceps, we'll go with something that doesn't bother too much. See if I can get that to loosen up a little bit.
Hopefully.
You feel that pop?
I didn't feel the pop, but it hurts.
Yeah, there was like a millisecond of a consideration where I'm like, maybe I should do a jiu-jitsu workout. With,
yeah.
No.
The time to shine.
I haven't done jiu-jitsu in so long, and then not only that, but I'd be doing it with like someone world class like you. I was like, I'm good. I can only take being humbled so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Let's do. We'll start with some pull downs. Let me see what handle I want to use. You know what? V-bar might be okay with the neutral grip. This might be okay. Do a warm up. So super basic exercise. I'm pretty sure you've done it before.
Yeah.
How often do you lift as part of your workout?
Man, not nearly enough. I used to love it. I used to love bodybuilding, and I wanted to be jacked. And I was also motivated because of like my sport, for performance. But since I've retired, I'm so, I guess, obsessed with the technical aspect of training. That's kind of where I want to spend all my time. And sometimes I'll come in thinking, I'm going to lift, and then I end up just working boxing the whole set.
Oh, I see.
And what I am doing is more like rehab type stuff, maintenance. So I'm not really chasing anything. So probably in the gym, maybe twice a week for pretty low-level weights workouts.
Well, that's plenty. How much like boxing and jiu-jitsu are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm in the gym 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Oh, 1 day a week would be what you want.
Yeah?
Yeah, you don't want more than that. This is just a warm-up, super light. So when you come up, let it stretch. Probably going to hit the stack a little bit, yeah. In jiu-jitsu, guys with long limbs can be a nightmare. When I used to do jiu-jitsu, you'd go against a guy with long arms and legs. You're like fighting a spider. They'll just catch you in their web. One of the things I liked about jiu-jitsu was, different body types have different games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so a guy like you, man, it would be so hard to get around you.
Yeah, if I could design the perfect fighter, striking or jiu-jitsu, he's probably going to be kind of lanky.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons, like the shorter, stocky guy.
Yeah.
He's got his advantages, but I feel like if I could choose, it'd be a tall person.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So this series is made possible by sponsors. They're the ones that pay Dylan's salary and the staff salary, all the people that are able to put this together. These are the sponsors we chose to work with. Dose, they have products both for liver and cholesterol, backed by data. So this stuff actually works if you look up the studies on it. Bioptimizers, Masszymes, digestive enzymes is really good, especially if you eat a high protein diet. So I'll take 3 of these before my big meals, and it really does help with digestion. And then this is like my secret for cognitive performance before the podcast. So I typically take 1 or 2 of these before I record, and sometimes before workouts. And it's like instant ketones to the brain. So Ketone IQ, Masszymes, Dose, you guys support them. Buy their products so that we can continue doing stuff like this. That's what makes this possible. Appreciate you guys. Since you started pursuing the faith, have you seen any changes in your ideas or actions or anything like that?
I think so. I think it's been a bit of a slow burn, like slow changes over time. Like I've always, I think, agreed with the message of Christianity. I think, it's kind of raised somewhat Catholic. So some of his ideas got stuck into me. And I've always, admired a good Christian person, like the way they live their life. But I think just slowly over time, it's gradually kind of changing that direction.
Were there anything like you're like, I used to feel this way, or I used to do this thing, and now I'm kind of like, or things that you start to wrestle with, ideas, thoughts?
Definitely some stuff I guess I wrestle with, but I guess the thing that would be changes is I think we talked about this before a bit about like the man leading, like my family wasn't quite that traditional household, and I thought you probably think everything's normal, whatever, but I think that had some problems for my parents and my family and the kind of the dynamic, and I do think there is some wisdom to like the man leading, and not in some sort of authoritarian way or anything, but like I think there's kind of a natural dynamic usually. That's something my thoughts have changed on a bit. I guess just in general, becoming a bit more aware of, like the world, like the influence, some of the bad influence we get from like social media, famous people and so on, stuff like that. I kind of find myself looking at that, questioning that, and also worrying about how that affects other people, like the influence that has.
So again, it's not too heavy.
No.
But the idea is to squeeze the lat. So come down, pause, and then come up and pause at the top a little bit. Yep. So for me, there's a lot of things that I wrestle with now since becoming a Christian. One of them, which wrestling is such a great term, by the way.
Yeah.
Because when you picture wrestling, like when it's a good match, it's like you're going.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah, and there's a story in the Bible where I forgot what his name was before this happened, but Israel is what he was called. But he was wrestling with God on a mountain, and they wrestled all night. And he said, "I'm not going to let you go." He was talking to God until you bless me. And so God let him wrestle with him. At the very end, he blessed them, but then he touched his hip, and he ended up with a hip that didn't work as well. So he remembered, and then he named him Israel, which means to wrestle with God. But wrestling's a good term because that's what happens. It's like you fight back and forth with your old ideas or your flesh or ideas of the world. And so one for me is this idea of like so much self-reliance. And part of what goes into that, because that sounds general, is like using nootropics or supplements or substances to quote unquote optimize, right? And so recently I was using Kratom. I came off of it, had some withdrawal, and I used it because it made me feel better and I feel more capable, whatever. As I'm coming off of it, I'm like, what'll help with the withdrawal? Again, this is me trying to control things.
Yeah.
Something called methylene blue, which is like it's another quote unquote nootropic. Really, it's an MAOI. It's a inhibitor of a certain enzyme that breaks down neurotransmitters.
Right.
Okay. So I went on that to help with the withdrawal, not realizing that when I go on that and go off, I'm having withdrawal from that.
Uh-huh.
So that's what happened over the last couple of days. I went off that. I was talking to my buddy, and I was telling him what I was taking, and he's like, "Oh, bro," he's like, "You only need it like, max 3 days a week, and take it for this dose." I'm like, "Oh, great! I've been taking 3 times as much every day for like 9 days. Am I gonna have withdrawal?" He's like, "Yeah." So I stopped that, and I felt like absolute dog crap for the past couple of days, and I'm like, "Okay, God,
How you feeling today?
I feel all right.
Yeah.
I feel all right, and I'm just it's good, you know. It's like there's this term that Christians will use, or this phrase will say, suffer for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what that means, well, it meant for me in my case was allowing myself to feel like crap and to do it for him, because otherwise what I'd try to do is get rid of that feeling by taking something else or doing something else. So it's like, no, I got to feel crappy and let myself feel this way and rely on God. You know,
It's a tough lesson you keep learning.
Well, I pray that I stop having to learn that lesson, dude. It's such a frustrating.
Self-reliance thing is something that attracted me to martial arts and basketball, and then to something that I felt was like my destiny was totally in my own hands, you know? So that's definitely something that I'm still kind of trying to figure that one out.
Yeah. And that's another message that the world sells that everybody would agree with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are the master of your
The American dream. Work hard.
your destiny. You can do anything. You're the main character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels so strong. But it's such a lie.
Yeah. But especially, I think you and I have both had a fair bit of success applying
Following
an
that.
idea, so it can get you so far, but then you can kind of get stuck too.
Well, at best, you know what might happen?
What?
At best, you'll get what the world promises you. And that's it.
Yeah.
So you think about like those super wealthy celebrities that have money and women and drugs and fame, and they just look at the suicide rate.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
among that group of people. So it's like one of the worst things that could ever happen to somebody if they're not following God is they get everything that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the hell do you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think I told you before, like, you know, some of the injuries I had really made me reframe like what was important, because I was really chasing titles, wins, accolades, you know, make the UFC and so on. And then when I had this huge injury and that was all kind of taken away, it felt like I never really enjoyed it and got what was good out of that, which is like the community, the people, the growth and all that stuff. And all of a sudden I felt like, man, none of those titles really mattered. And what I missed was being in a good community, being around my friends, working for something together. And thankfully, you know, being able to come back from the injury, I could like reframe that to where every day I'm like thankful that I get to do what I do. Whereas before, every day I was like stressing about, I got to be perfect about this and I messed that up, and super hard on myself and just thinking about the goal and nothing else. And if I accomplish that, on to the next without even celebrating, you know. But now I feel like I can be so much more present and just enjoy the process.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you think the injury might have been a blessing? In a way?
Yeah, I can't say exactly how I'm happy about it. It'd be great to get that lesson and get a full recovery.
Yeah.
The joint's probably never going to be the same. But yeah, honestly, it's been a blessing in a lot of ways. And also I've seen a lot of people coming up that are making a lot of the mistakes I made, not treating their body right, not resting when they should, you know, burning the candle at both ends and just doing too much, you know? And I've been able to pretty successfully talk to some of these guys and be like, hey man, slow down. I didn't have anyone tell me this stuff. I didn't see the older dude with the busted up this and that told me how not to do it and a better way to do it. So now I've been able to influence a few people actually to kind of change their mindset on it a bit and take a better approach, which has been good.
Oh, that's great. I got to say, man, that I was just thinking about this this morning. Such a blessing that you reached out to me when you did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel very grateful for it. I mean, we knew each other, but we weren't really friends. We just kind of knew each other. And I don't know why it worked out that way and why you reached out or why I thought I should call you. But it's been a blessing for sure. Definitely for me, it feels God orchestrated.
Well, I feel bigger blessing on my end from receiving. I think it was a bigger blessing for me. And I guess the reasons why I reached out, like I've been a Mind Pump listener since like 2015, so pretty early days.
Long time,
I listened to all the episodes back in the day, and you, Adam, Justin, I really like the message you guys were sort of teaching, but I always kind of resonated with the way you thought and the way you came to conclusions, the way you used statistics and everything, and it felt like a similar way that I think. So, when you'd give advice, I'd be like, all right, he's probably put a lot of thought into this and things I could kind of take. And, about a year ago, I was going through something super tough in my personal life and I had people to talk to, but I kind of remembered a vague memory of you talking about something similar on the podcast and talking about how to deal with stress in certain situations. And I thought, I don't know why, but I was going to reach out to you. It's not like we hardly ever talked.
No.
I can't even remember why I had your phone number.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even know you had one.
Yeah. And I reached out to you thinking he's so busy. Maybe I'll be able to catch you for a phone call. And you're like, hey, let's meet up for coffee.
You were the first person I talked to about my faith really in that way.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know what it was. I just felt convicted. I'm like, you know what? And looking back, what a risk. Because I could have been like, hey, I know you got this problems going on. Let me tell you about the good news. You'd be like, dude, I don't want to hear about your religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it was such a blessing. And yeah, dude. It was cool too when you came over that day. So funny. We invited him over. I think you came to church.
I came to church
and then you came over for breakfast.
Yeah. Which, by the way, was a year ago yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
It's the 1 year anniversary, yeah.
And my wife gives him a Bible. And my son, who at the time was I don't even think he was 4 yet, or he was 4. He just turned 4. I don't know why. He looks at Dennis and he goes, hey, do you want to wrestle? You know what's funny about that? He's shy.
Yeah.
He doesn't go up to random people and say, he has to warm up, right?
Right.
He's got to warm up. But he looks at you, and it's like he knew you were a grappler. He's like, hey, do you want to wrestle?
Yeah.
So he starts wrestling my son on the ground. That's all. I just thought of that. That's so wild. He doesn't do that. He doesn't say that to people.
Really?
No.
I'm surprised to hear he's shy.
No, man. He's shy right out the gates.
Yeah, one of the reasons I think I was so compelled by it is because, I respect your opinion on things, but I'd seen you, early on in the podcast, I think you talked about being an atheist, and then you talked to Bishop Barron and so on. You were kind of having this agnostic approach. And then I didn't listen to Mind Pump for a while. I got into all these histories things. And then when I connected with you, I think you said I'll give you a call after church. And I'm thinking, what?
What happened?
I missed a few episodes. Something must have happened. Maybe he's there for some sort of science experiment. You're checking the stats or something. And but you told me about it. You told me your story of how you kind of came to faith. And that was so compelling to me. Not just because it's a great story and it's a really powerful experience you had, but that I respected your opinion on things, the way you came to conclusions on things that I knew you didn't just grow up as a Christian. It's not something you were forced into as a kid, but you were an atheist and then gradually became agnostic and then sort of were searching for things and looking for meaning and trying to pray and then had this experience. And there was no hesitation in me of wow, if this guy whose opinion I really respect has this kind of transformation over time and is telling me this is real, then that really held some weight for me.
Yeah, I would have debated anybody, man, back in the day.
Yeah.
It's so crazy looking back. It's It's like I had one eye sewn shut, and people were telling me, you know, if you open that other eye, you'll see more. I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. You're dumb. That's not, you know, whatever. And then suddenly the thread gets pulled, and I'm like, and now I look back and I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was so confident in how wrong I was. It's so wild.
Yeah. I guess relying on yourself to figure everything out, right?
Well, I think if you search earnestly and you try to keep an open heart, I think eventually you'll find him.
Yeah.
I think a real atheist is somebody that's searching. I think you're more spiritually lost if you don't think about it. But atheists, you think about it and try to, like, well, how do things start and where do things come from and how does this work? And I think if they keep looking and they're open, they'll find God.
Right. And I had a lot of those thoughts, you know, like I was raised kind of loosely Catholic, and then my family started going to the church, and then started getting into like evolution, Darwinian theory, and the creation of the universe, the Big Bang, astrophysics, and how everything kind of works. And I kind of came to this conclusion of like, it's all the laws of physics, and it's all chance and random mutation. And so I kind of, not in a negative way to religion, but I kind of closed myself off to that a bit. But I would often question those things. Like, how did it start? How did this? How did that? Is this really the way it is that I'm being taught? And yeah, somehow, kept questioning. And I remember having this thought many times that if only I knew, like if I could just go back, see Jesus on the cross, or listen to him preach, see him risen from the dead, something where I could just know, wow, this really is real, you know? And if I did, I would have to follow. Like there's no choice. There's no way you can go the other way if you think that's real.
Yeah.
So I would contemplate that a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that might help you with that.
Yeah.
So you had the apostles that, you know, like Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, I think he was one of the first ones to follow Jesus. And he was with Jesus when Jesus performed miracles, when he resurrected, you know, people, when he healed people. And at the Last Supper, I think it was at the Last Supper, he tells Jesus, you will deny me 3 times. I'm sorry, he tells Peter, you will deny me 3 times. And Peter's like, no way, Lord, I will never do that. Like, I am following you till death. And what happens when Jesus gets persecuted and they're going to take him in, somebody's like, hey, weren't you one of his followers? No, I don't know the man. He does it 3 times. So the reason why I'm telling you that is Peter was there with him.
Yeah.
Did walk with him, still denied him. So the story, what's important about that is, regardless of all the evidence and proof, we have that tendency to deny.
Yeah.
And so it's so, yeah, that's a tough one. I feel you. There's always that leap of faith. I know we talked before, and you were saying, like, you know, you want to have that feeling, or kind of, are there times when you feel his presence more, or places?
Yeah.
Like where?
Church for one. When I pray, I try to be good about praying. Make it a habitual thing. For whatever reason, a bit like meditation, I never seem to do as much as I plan on doing. But when I do it, I feel like something moves within me, and definitely times that I've asked for things that seemed really tough, when I really prayed hard on them, I kind of got them.
Yeah.
You know? But so those are times that I feel it, and I think the more I kind of turn towards, the more I feel it. The times that I'm getting distracted or caught up with my own stuff or the world or whatever, I think those are the times I feel it less.
Yeah. Seek them out, because I know you want those feelings. Continue, keep seeking them out. And then in the beginning, the Word was God, and God was the Word. That's what it says in the Bible. So when you're reading the Bible, you're with Him. It also says that God is love. Not that He made love; He is love. So anytime you're loving people selflessly,
Right.
that sacrificial love, not because you want something in return, but especially when you don't feel the feelings of love, but you still do it. Those are ways that you can be with him, for sure. Let's do cable row over here.
All right.
See how you feel with this handle here.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, you've used this before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have these handles back in the day. And interesting, because you think, what does the grip have to do with back activation?
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you change the forearm and bicep activation, it allows you to reconnect or connect differently to the back. So this kind of looser grip, I think, places more focus or feel on the back muscles. So, because I noticed that when I use this grip, I could feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, easiest workout you do in your entire life. I know how you train, bro.
But for weightlifting, not so much.
This is just gonna feel good.
Yeah.
One thing I hate people do, like fitness influencers do, is they'll work out with someone in one of their videos, and the whole idea is to beat the crap out of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is so ego and so dumb. I know what you do. I know how much training you do. Last thing I want to do is set you up for injury. The other last thing I want to do is set myself up for injury, because this guy's a moose, if you guys can't tell already. You got good form, dude.
Thank you.
You've done this before. Whew. You know, for the audience, I got to say that there's such a difference between someone who's well trained, who dedicates a lot of time and energy towards being good at something. There's such a difference between that person and world class. Okay, so like somebody who never does jujitsu and then goes against your typical black belt, huge gap. Now take your typical black belt and you put them against world champion, it's almost the same distance. That's how good, that's the difference of world class. It's silly. I remember experiencing that at the school I trained at. I was pretty good. You know, I got up to a decent level as, purple belt. And I could hold my own for the most part against some black belts. But these were like, local black belts.
Yeah.
And then we had guys come in from Brazil who were like world champion.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like a child.
Yeah.
Like the one guy in particular, he was also a pretty strong dude, but he was having so much fun with me, and he would tell me what he's going to do to me. I'm going to take your left arm, your left elbow. And then he would just take it, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Did you watch Roger Gracie back in the day?
Where he would just choke everybody?
He would do the exact same thing to everybody.
Basic.
And anytime you would see somebody, generally in competition, if somebody gets mounted, the guy on the bottom is bucking and bridging and doing everything they can to escape and not get scored on. Then he would mount someone, and they would just lay there. And I'd think, like, why are these guys not even trying, right? And then so when I was a purple belt, I went over to England. I trained with him every day for like 2-3 weeks. And I ended up, I was rolling him one time, and he just kind of like inch by inch, just kind of passed my half guard, got mount. And then I was like, all right, time to escape.
You were just glued.
Damn it. And instantly I understood, like, those guys couldn't move. I couldn't move,
Is it just the positioning? And
it's so many small things. Like, you could look at it and look at somebody else's mount and be like, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. But like, he would adjust just perfectly as you were turning a certain way. He'd take away one wedge or one thing to have you face the other way, and just constantly was adjusting to whichever way you went. He was kind of stopping you before you could even attempt,
that's
crazy.
That's so awesome. Who's the most like, was that one of the most shocking experiences, or do you have somewhere you went against guys that were just so good where you're like, this is just...
Well, we did the most hard training. I think that was a very shocking experience. And I was a purple belt at the time, and he was a black belt champion. So naturally, we're going to be pretty far apart. But I think the other one would be Alexander Karelin. And we only did a little bit. And I think he was like...
Now, at that time, he's an old man. He's retired.
Yeah. And his upper body had kind of shrunk. His legs were like grotesquely big still. Like, they didn't look right. So he was not in his prime. He's like a politician, barely training.
Yeah.
and he was teaching a seminar at the Olympic Training Center, and I got to do some stuff with him. And we like did a little bit of live from a certain position, and I felt like I had a statue in my hands. I just couldn't move them this way or that way, and like
the Russian bear. I love
Yeah.
his videos are amazing.
and that's him not in his prime, you know.
They called him they call him the experiment or something like that. Did you have any like spiritual practices before or inclinations or?
Not really. Like, I mean, I'd meditate. I guess that's spiritual, but it was not like I was really speaking to a God or anything. But definitely there were times where something bad would happen, and I wouldn't say I'm a Christian or something then, or that I had faith. But there was definitely times that something would go wrong, and I would just instinctively just start praying to God.
Wow.
Just praying to God that this would work out. And then it did work out. I'd be like, all right, cool, thanks. You know,
And then you're,
yeah,
and then
I'd
you're
be
good.
gone, and then stop thinking about it. But yeah, it was really like not a big thing. And not long before talking to you, strangely, I had a friend who I was training actually, and I'd known this guy for a couple of years. And then he said something about going to church, and it turns out he's a Christian, a Catholic. And when he told me this, he's a very smart guy, and I was kind of like in my head thinking, really, like, you believe all this and that? And I was very, very closed-minded to it. Not that he was trying to really explain that to me, but just that he was a Christian. I was kind of surprised. And then having that mindset, talking to you probably just a few months later, and being so open to what you had to share.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
You turn, I think one more. You did turn to God a little bit in those prayer times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme. It's like you turn to him a little bit, he grabs you.
Yeah.
One of the greatest deterrents to like street violence is a cauliflower ear. If you have a cauliflower ear, most people know, probably don't mess with that guy. I did judo for 2 years, jiu-jitsu for about 6. Never got a cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
And it actually is disappointing. I kind of wish I had a little bit of that.
Yeah. I met a guy one time who had a big cauliflower ear. And, naturally I'm like, hey, what do you do? Turned out he was a water polo player.
Oh.
And he was playing training without his headgear, and he got smashed in the head with the ball. This guy never grappled a day in his life.
So when I go home, I'm going to take a ball and I'm just going to crush it on my hair.
Some people can't get it though, for whatever reason.
Mine, I never did. My
Yeah.
ears would hurt sometimes, but.
My theory is if you have very, very soft, malleable cartilage, it's less likely. But if you have kind of stiff ears, I think it happens easier.
Yeah, it's funny because you'll hear you hear some women be like, ew, or whatever. And as for me, I was always like, I wish I had.
Yeah.
So at least people.
I kind of wished it. And then when it first happened, I had a little panic. But it was also because I had the worst cauliflower. It totally was just like a ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the
You
ugliest
have to drain it?
cauliflower. Yeah, I drained that.
Oh.
I went to a doctor. He didn't know what he was doing. He just cut it open and then bandaged my head.
Oh
up
my
pressure on
gosh,
it.
dude. Okay, so this is, we're going to simulate a behind the neck pull down with this.
Mhm.
It's typically what I do. If it bothers your shoulder, then you want to lean back a little bit. Yeah, your technique on these back exercises is really good.
Thank you.
Like no coaching necessary. You listen to any fitness podcasts that teach you this stuff? Or?
Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
I almost wore my Mind Pump shirt today, but I
Did
thought
you?
maybe that would seem a little corny. But I got a few of them. You take which grip?
Oh yeah, up here.
All right.
Yeah, funny thing about machines is that they are not organized or designed for anybody that's either a lot shorter or a lot taller than the average. A lot of people don't know this, but most machines are designed for a 5'9" male. So, whereas with free weights, they follow your body rather than you having to follow the machine. What's the most common thing that you pray for these days?
I guess praying for a relationship with God, with Jesus, for something to move me towards that proper faith, you know? So I find myself looking at things like in this logical way where I have to look at the evidence, you know? So I've been doing my best to learn about the resurrection and all of that. But, you know, there's evidence, but there's also stuff there that we don't know. So there's only so much I can get from eyewitness accounts and historical records. And then I think, well, the other part is just to pray and try to, you know, hopefully have.
So you're praying for that faith.
Move, yeah. Praying for faith and also praying for, I guess, help and guidance on some things in my life, like big decisions I'm trying to make.
You know, you've already got a relationship with him.
I feel like
you're praying, you're reading. Yeah. What'd you think of that post I sent you about the different historic figures?
Oh yeah, it's like, how many was it? It was like 100, like
let me see if I pull
50,000 or something.
It's wild. When you talk to like secular historians and the world will try to convince you, I think, that well, Jesus might have been this mythical figure, but they'll never say that about Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar. Those are all real historical people. There's less than 10 manuscripts that were written about Genghis Khan. The earliest one was 13 years after his death, but the earliest surviving copy was about 200 years after. Alexander the Great, maybe dozens of manuscripts. The earliest copies are 300 to 500 years after his death. Julius Caesar, 250 manuscripts, 900 years were the first ones written after his death. Jesus Christ, over 25,000 manuscripts. The earliest copies, 30 to 50 years after his death. So there's more evidence for Jesus, his life, his miracles, his death and resurrection, than there are for pretty much any other ancient figure. I never knew that. Until I became a Christian.
I didn't know that until you said that post, yeah.
Yeah, you got really good technique, dude.
Thank you.
All right, you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
How do you feel about what the Bible says about sexual immorality? Like what the Bible describes as what, you know, sexual desire and the act, what it's designed for, and then how everything outside of that is considered, you know, immoral.
Well, that's something I guess I still, like I'm slightly back and forth, but it's definitely, my views around sex has definitely changed. And not one of those things would be like, I mean, with the world, you know, you look at like just advertising and, you know, a lot of people using sex to sell and the way it's portrayed and in media and stuff. It's like that whole idea of like multiple partners before you settle down and so on. But then like what you shared about the people that are happiest with the sex life are the people that have been with the one person the entire time.
Yeah, so that back in the 60s, these people report the best sex.
Yeah, who would have thought that?
Never.
You know? Yeah, and I guess like it's not something they had to deal with back then. Maybe some rich kings or whatnot with access to a lot of women, but like pornography, like I always knew that was bad at like the level of like affecting your dopamine reward system.
Yeah, I understood that before I became a Christian, but I still couldn't stop.
So I saw that. I didn't think about, I guess, spiritually what it was doing to you, you know, and kind of like just also the bad side of what's actually happening in that industry as well, you know?
Yeah, the best analogy that I could think of around that, because I was like, lust was a problem for me forever, since I was a boy. And like you said, I understood the neurobiology of the damage that pornography does to the brain. I understood that well because I'm in health and fitness. Still couldn't stop.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I became a Christian that with his help, I was able to like separate myself. It doesn't have a pull on me like it used to at all.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one of the few things he took from me, which I'm so grateful for that, because like I said, that was an issue. But the analogy I'll use, because people in fitness get this, the pleasurable experience we get from eating food that is palatable, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with eating something and savoring it and enjoying the experience. But what happens when that becomes distorted? You you become gluttonous, you overeat. That's all you value.
Yeah.
And the side effect of that is obvious. It's clear. Obesity or health. You think you're free to do whatever you want, but in reality, you're a slave to worshiping this experience from food.
Yeah.
It's also one thing that food provides you. Food is also a way to communicate, to connect. It also nourishes your body. It's a way to love people, right? It's all these other things. But so that's an easy one to understand. So if you think of sexual pleasure, that's a gift from God. It's not a bad thing. Some people think, oh, if you're a Christian, oh no, we can't. Like, oh, that's bad. It's all bad. No, that's a gift. But that's one of the, it's like one small thing that act is. There's so many things that it is. And above all of them is this intimate connection with a person that you are going to do life with, that you're going to do this representation of Christ in the church with. And so, again, if you look at the data, again, which I always find is fascinating, people who wait until they're married, who pray together, go to church together, read the Bible, wait till they're married, they have the most satisfying sex life.
Which I never would have suspected,
And now think of it this way, using the food analogy. If you're a kid and you grow up with garbage food all the time, you can have candy, you can have fast food, and there's no limits to it. And then you become an adult and you try to become healthy. How difficult it is.
Yeah.
Now imagine you grow up believing the world and you're like, oh yeah, like it's about pleasure. It's about, finding pleasure and giving pleasure and multiple partners. And if nobody gets hurt, what's the big deal? And let's explore and all the stuff that the world tells you. And then you come to faith and you're like, oh my gosh, I was a slave to this worshiping this pleasure or this lust. Now I'm going to try and live a holy life, the struggle. Because you're like that kid that grew up with all that garbage food, and that temptation now is like, but.
That is a great analogy, actually. Yeah.
So, there is a perfect order. Also, by the way, like some people take this as judgment, like, oh, what are you trying to say that and I've said this before, like becoming a Christian is way less about looking at other people and saying, oh my God, it's way more about being like, oh Lord, I can't believe how often I turn from you. And I can't believe the grace you give me. Thank you. And so when you see other people struggling in different ways than you, if you focus on Christ, at least for me, I don't look at them like down on them. It's more like, oh man, I want to share with you.
Yeah. Well, what's that
what I've
thing?
experienced.
He told me something like, there go I, but for the grace of God, something like that. Yeah. Like they don't know better, essentially.
Yes. Nice. Oof. Yeah, for me, sometimes I'll look at things and I'll just see so much evidence that there's an enemy and that he's trying to take us away from God all the time. We're talking about sexual immorality or lust, and in the Bible it tells men, God says that men are to lead, in particular lead spiritually. And we've talked about the data before on that. Like if a father's the first person to come to Christ, the chance the family will follow is over 90%. If it's the mother, it's 17%, which is just a wild stat. You don't see a disparity like that with anything between moms and dads when it comes to influence. But when I look at the world, I could see now how the enemy goes after men. And what do you want to do? If you want to destroy society through destroying men, what do you take away from men? Their ability to lead. And so here's what's happened. You have insane access to ways, to outlets for lust. In the past, if you had a lustful heart, you also had to be super rich and super handsome. So there was a little bit of a barrier there, right? Now you just got pornography with more novelty than any king had access to 1,000 years ago. Nobody had access to that kind of novelty. So you have pornography. Also, a man's natural drive to build or to conquer or to, and I don't mean conquer like, defeat a kingdom, but like to encounter a challenge and to overcome that challenge. This is a natural thing that a man will have, this drive. So what else has happened? Video games. So you've killed him with lust. You've taken away his drive. By the way, the drive to to talk to women, there's a good side to that, because if you're a young man and you don't have access to pornography, you don't have and you've just got this like, man, I want to go, like, I want to talk to girls. Talking to girls is not easy. You get rejected all the time. You got to somewhat get your crap together, because girls aren't going to talk to you if you're a loser.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to present yourself. You got to get over that fear of rejection. And then the conquering and building, like, instead of going out and encountering challenges, you're beating levels on a video game.
Yeah.
And so what has happened is men have become neutered by the enemy, to the point where men don't even go talk to women anymore. And men are like beating level 35 instead of really trying to go out there and challenge themselves.
And how many things like men trying to better themselves, be successful, a lot of that I think comes down to presenting themselves as a good mate.
A suitable.
And if with pornography and whatnot, they had that itch scratched, I think that kills some of their drive too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, erectile dysfunction happens in young men. And there's a lot of cases of this. You can look this up, where men will get erectile dysfunction with a girl because she's not as stimulating as the novelty on pornography.
Right.
That's wild. And, we know this neurobiology, the neurobiology, what's happening in the brain. So you look at that and you go, that is a masterful way of destroying men. And then women have their own ways of being destroyed. One of them for women is like, your career is going to fulfill you. And that's more important than being a mom, which is such a sad, terrible lie. Ask any mom and she'll tell you, like, that's a lie, All right, let's come back.
What's up next?
Do some shrugs and then we'll do some biceps.
All right.
So for a MMA guy like Dennis, or anybody that's watching, this workout we're doing is an almost completely worthless workout for an MMA guy. If you're an MMA athlete or whatever, bodybuilding style workouts, they're not going to have a ton of value for you. Keep the crown tall. No, tall, like you're stretching. There you go. And go here. That's it. Sometimes when people shrug, they'll look down or they'll do this with their head. And if you have any neck issues, especially if you're a wrestler or grappler, your neck's getting cranked on all the time, you can pinch some discs and cause issues. So what you want to do is create length with the kind of the crown of your head and hold that position, create that traction in your spine. So when you shrug, you're not bringing the spine down in both
Yeah,
ends.
I never knew that. I always put my head down a little bit.
It's not necessarily wrong, but if you have any neck issues at all,
I do.
which I knew it.
Yeah.
And what'll happen after shrugs, sometimes you're like, oh, I feel like I kinked my neck. Did you do a lot of neck exercises when you were a wrestler?
We did a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
That was about it.
On your head?
Yeah. But now I do zero direct neck work, but people are always pulling on my head, and my style when I'm especially guard passing, I lead with my head a lot. People are constantly framing against it, so I'm constantly getting neck work indirectly. So when I first started lifting, I was like skinny, tall kid. I started lifting, and at first, like, you're kind of praying for someone to compliment you, like someone noticed, So I'm like maybe 18. I've been lifting for like 6 months, something. My sister has a 21st birthday party, and I'm there. And then after, she goes, "Oh, a bunch of my friends were saying, is Dennis lifting weights?" And I'm like,
"Oh no."
Yeah. And she goes, "Yeah, they're all saying he's got the biggest, most massive." And I'm like, "Traps. I mean, not traps, shoulders, pecs, something." She goes, "Neck." And I'm like, "What?" I was so deflated. And then later on, I become a grappler. And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." It's probably the only genetically gifted body part is my neck.
Yeah.
Everything else.
It actually hypertrophies quickly in a lot of people if you train it. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
If you train it. And it's an important muscle to have.
Yeah.
Whether you box or you grapple. Now, Mike Tyson is famous.
For boxing, when I was boxing the national team, there was a Russian guy called Alexei who was a national champion. We'd spar all the time. And he'd tell me, like, "You're the only guy that when I hit, it hurts my hand." Because, like, my head, like, it's actually better to, roll with the punch. But when I was not so good back
Different
then,
neck.
he just whacked me in the head and I'd just take it. And he'd be like, "What the hell?" Because none of those guys are really doing any direct neck work. Oops.
So long in the neck.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to get tall through here. Well, then one more of these, and we'll do a little biceps.
All right, cool.
Yeah, a lot of people think that the difference between a pro bodybuilder and everybody else that works out is steroids. If that were the case, I'd look like a pro bodybuilder. I'm just telling you right now. They got genetics like any other like top level athlete. And those guys can, I mean, when you get to the elite level of any sport, it's hard work, discipline, and genetics.
Yeah.
It's all of that.
If what they say is true, I mean, Ronnie Coleman was natural in his first Olympia or two.
And many of them.
And then exploded when he started.
And then just destroyed everybody.
You take a look at him when he wasn't placing. He looked phenomenal.
Bro, you guys see when he was 19.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Want to do some biceps?
Sure.
All right.
Who else would be a notable guy that was like natural for quite a while?
Ty Green.
Ty Green, yeah.
Ty Green was natural for a long time.
While he was competing?
Yep.
Wow.
And then he went on, and then, of course, it made a big difference, but he looked better than 99.9% of people who take steroids. All right, so you could do this hammer style too.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this fits your arm length.
Do you need the other one on too?
Huh? Yeah, I guess.
This one too?
Yeah.
I never use this machine.
So you could do it here also, and see if that feels okay for you. And you want your elbow to line up with the pivot point.
Yeah.
How do you feel about leg locks? A lot of jiu-jitsu guys use them now.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I think they're an essential part of the game now. If you don't at least know how to defend them, you know, you're going to get caught.
Yeah. In the early days, they were kind of frowned upon.
Yeah. I think John Danaher really changed the game with that.
So you're going to kind of be away from the pad because your arms are so long?
So about here.
Yeah, and then see how it lines up. You can grab it further in if you want, if that hurts your wrist.
This actually doesn't feel too bad.
Okay, good. You're good then. Well, were there any things that other Christians in the past would do that would push you away from the faith?
I guess if someone came across as a bit too judgy and looking down on others.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's one of the things that even when I would have counted myself as an atheist, I always respected and liked the type of people that I considered good Christians. My sister, my older sister, Mel, she's a perfect example. She's probably been Christian since she was about 13, 14, something like that. And she's just the sweetest, nicest, most giving person. And that's always, to me, been like, that's what a Christian is, you know? And through her, I met a bunch of other people. There's always seemed like good people that were so giving and happy to share, you know? So I guess there's only the people who were kind of a bit pushy and judgmental, but I wasn't exposed to that nearly as much as I was exposed to, I think, the good side.
How does your sister feel about you?
She's very happy. I talk to her, probably not as often as I should, but I do chat to her about this quite a bit as I'm still trying to learn and kind of grapple with the idea of having faith and yeah, just figuring out what I believe in all of this. But she's been a great resource. But just, yeah, her and her husband, who was also not at all a Christian, so he met her. And then the first time I went to church, he had this thing where it was like, the guy's talking to me only, you know, I had one of those kind of experiences and very quickly became a Christian. Her kids are great, and just, yeah, around her, a lot of good people. But she's very happy about it.
Does she ever come to visit? I'd love to meet her. Such a far trip.
She's been once, like 10 years ago. But yeah, my other sister comes more often. She's actually here right now. She's teaching at, I think, Harvard.
Oh, wow.
Or Cambridge. No. Whichever one's in Massachusetts, I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's a professor.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, you mentioned the judgmental.
Yeah.
There's this verse in the Bible where it says there are 9 things that the Lord hates. I think is what it is. One of them is haughty eyes, Haughty. Eyes. You know what that means? Prideful, like looking down on others.
Right.
So I think when people say judgmental, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
It's not because knowing what's right from wrong based on God's truth, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what happens when you follow Jesus. But looking at other people and looking down at them, like, look at you, lowly, whatever, or I'm so righteous and you're so, and it literally says in the Bible, he detests that.
I guess the other thing I was kind of exposed to a little bit was like people that talked one way, but were actually pretty big hypocrites, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They go to church once a week, but cheat on their wife the other 6 days, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting because that could go both ways. Like there's the false follower who follows to appear righteous. I'm sure there's that. But then there's the like obese person in the gym working out who's trying, but they're struggling. But they're trying, and you know they're trying, and it's genuine. Of course, only God knows your heart. So we can look at people and make guesses. But
So maybe I'm being judgmental.
Who knows? But
they might be struggling.
But I feel you, bro. There's a book called The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, and it's a fictional story, but he's a great Christian writer. And there's a demon that's writing letters to his boss, another demon, and his boss is telling him how he can be effective at keeping people away from God. And one of the things he says in the book is, hey, when he goes to church, like, don't worry, we haven't lost him yet. Make sure you point his eyes at the people in the pews who aren't perfect Christians and who do this and that. Make sure you have him focus on those people and pay attention to those things. It's a really good book. It highlights some of the work of the enemy. It's a really smart book. Fast read too. Screw Tape Letters.
Screw Tape Letters.
Yeah.
Interesting. The little bit of weights I do is never direct arm work. Oh, this is frying me already.
Is it really?
Yeah, all I have to do is like push pull.
Well, you don't really need to do direct arm work this is like aesthetic stuff. We're gonna give you big, beautiful biceps, Dennis.
Good.
Okay. One more, and I'll give you there is one arm exercise that I think will benefit grappler. I'll show it to you. Not that you would do this often, but if you ever do arm work or reverse curl,
your strength
is much more because of grabbing the gi, pulling people in. And if your brachioradialis muscle is weak and your wrist breaks, you're screwed.
Yeah, I do quite a bit of hammer curl because I feel like most of the pulling or choking is this way.
Yes. And we'll go light, just like nice full range of motion. If you never do these and then you go after it, you will not be able to straighten your arm out for a few days.
So funny you say that because with all my injuries, I don't even think I can fully straighten this arm properly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because the joint feels blocked?
Yeah. My right arm, my right knee, neither of them fully extend all the way, a couple of degrees short.
So it's on that outside curve. Yep. And you pin your elbows at your sides. Yep. And that's it. Yeah, don't go crazy on these. This will get super sore. So. Mind if I ask you another personal question? I want to ask this because sometimes I'll meet somebody. This happened with Adam, my partner, Adam, business partner. Also, I think you'd make such a great dad. I think you'd be such a great father. You don't have kids?
Nope.
Is there a reason for that, or do you want them?
I don't know. When I was younger, like my 20s, I would think, when I grow up, it's cool to have kids, you know? And then I get older and older and I'm like, I don't feel any more grown up. I was kind of against the idea throughout my 30s, and now I'm actually opening my mind up to it a little bit. I've kind of left it a bit late, I think, but possibly. I don't know. Yeah, just got to find the right person.
You make a great. You've got such good. Ever since I've known you, and I didn't know you very well before, but you always seem pretty with good humility. You're not like this cocky, like arrogant person. You've got wisdom. You're a good teacher, obviously, for what you do. Like you raise a really good boy or girl or both, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I hope if that's, supposed to happen for you, that if God wants it and blesses you, I think you'll be a great, great father for sure.
Well, I guess I got to find the right mother, you know?
Yeah. That's what we could do. Let's all pray
Yeah.
for Dennis's future mother of his children. Or maybe pray that God, if that's what he wants, that
Yeah.
it happens.
But if not, I hope I can raise up an army of grapplers.
Yeah.
These young teenage boys.
That's what I'm saying. You already train these kids, you know? On a previous one, Dylan filmed my wife and I working out. And when it just went up, actually. And at the end of it, I'm like asking the audience to pray for Dylan because of what he's doing, the work he's doing. And he's got full autonomy. He edits. I don't even look at him beforehand. I'm like, just do your thing. And she jumps in real quick. And she's like, if you're a girl between the ages of like 24 to 29, like DM me because Dylan, you know. I'm like, oh my God, dude. If she likes you.
The ultimate dating app. Huh?
If my wife likes you, she will try to set you up.
Yeah.
I know she's tried to, she'll do it with any guy.
Yeah.
She's like, let me find someone for you. She loves it. And she loves Dylan, so she's like, we got to find him a good Christian wife. My favorite is when I'll post a workout and then people will be like, oh, you're only using 40 pounds or 30 pounds. Okay, dude.
Do you read the comments much?
I do because sometimes they'll point us in the right direction or move us away from a direction that we recently, not recently now, but a little while ago, we had this guy that was he was an algorithm expert for YouTube. And so he's like, I'm going to help you guys get more views on YouTube. So what he would do is he would compile keywords and titles that based on his research would do well. And then he'd give them to me. And then my job is I tend to construct or organize our episodes. So what I was doing is I was organizing our episodes around his titles. And it really didn't feel right. It didn't feel authentic. It felt like we were shoehorning. And at one point I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I told the guy, I'm done. We're done. We're going to do it our own way. We don't follow trends. In our history, we've always either made the trends or gone in a direction we felt was right, whether it got views or not. And so we booted him, and it's been a lot better.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why we booted him is I could see in the comments, there were people who've been longtime listeners who were like, they would make certain comments that I would be like, I feel that too, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you get your trolls where I'm like, whatever, dude. But if I feel it too, and I see a comment, I'm like, all right, we're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that probably was a wise choice because one thing you guys always had was like authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, you guys really shared the message I think you guys believed and kind of against the mainstream a lot of times. So you've
We're
said
done,
in
sir.
the past, we're done?
Yeah, dude.
All right, you've said in the past, just quickly, you can actually curl the same,
Reverse curl as much as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, if I want to go heavy, I'll go 80, 90 on the reverse. Going easy because this week I haven't felt so good. Like I said earlier, I withdrawal from methyl and blue. Also trying to take it easy on my body more often than I push it. And honestly, this workout was more about connecting with you, having a good conversation, and less about getting after it type of deal.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. You took some pity on me with the weight you chose for this one, I think.
Well, Dylan's going to edit this.
Please.
It's going to look like it's 200 pounds.
Sweet. Perfect.
So he's going to put on the side there so everybody thinks we're reverse curling 200 pounds. We're good. All right, man. You mind if we end in the prayer, bro?
Yeah.
That's
All
right. Lord Father in heaven, thank you so much for this opportunity to lift and talk with Dennis, Lord. Thank you so much for reaching out and grabbing his heart and grabbing mine, Lord, when you did and bringing us together. Father, you blessed me with Dennis's friendship. I just want to praise you and thank you for that, Lord. Lord, as Dennis goes about his day, please bless him. Please strengthen him, Lord. Please help him find you. Give him those things that he needs to follow you, even though you tell us we just need to have that faith, Lord. He wants some of those feelings, if you could bless him with some of those. And Lord, please bless the people watching this. And for those people who are watching who haven't found you yet, reach out to them. We pray this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, Dennis. All right, Dylan. That was good, my friend. Now we're going to go to work. I'm going to ask you guys for a favor. Everybody watching this, all you Followers of Jesus, pray for Dennis. Pray that Dennis finds Christ, that Christ grabs a hold of him and takes him in. Really appreciate it.